everybody. My name is Morgan. This is my shop, Slickside Repair. And behind me is my Willys Jeep. It's a 1957 DJ 3A. Stands for dispatch Jeep. Over here in the corner, there's a cab for it, roof, and then there's some doors back over there, leaned up against the wall. It's been a little while since we did anything on the Jeep. We've been hammering on everybody else's stuff, so it's time to do something with it. Let me turn you guys around. We'll take a look at it. If you guys remember right from the last Jeep video, we cut these fender wells out for those seats right there. They turned out pretty good, but they're not done getting welded out. I actually missed a spot right there. But then the other part of them is they need welded out on the outside. And then I need to finish undercoating under here. Looks like I need to do a little bit better job on some of it too. But that's why I've got it on the lift here. I'm gonna put it up in the air. I'm gonna pull all the tires off, tires and wheels. I'm gonna take these wheels in eventually, get some new tires put on. But my goal is to get these welded out, taillights hooked up, seat frame built, the rest of this inside painted. I was actually using Flex Seal for this. Turns out pretty good and it's fairly durable. Just kind of get this thing doctored up. I'd really like to be taking it in a couple weekends up in the limestone, do some tooling around. I'm not sure if I can make it or not, but I've got a little bit of welding on top of these fenders to do before we Flex Seal the bottom end here. That hole there needs patched. This one is body mounts, so I need to get some bolts in there, looks like. Just try to finish some of this stuff up. So let's get it up in the air and see what it looks like. Hey everybody, it's a new day. We got the Jeep up on the lift last night, and then it was supper time, so I went inside. But let's go ahead and take a look at what I got here. There's everything I need to get to. This should be fairly easy welding, especially on the lift. I can put it about whatever height I want. Just go along, stitch this up. I'm gonna pull the wheels off, like I said. Got a little bit of wiring to do up under here. Get the taillights hooked up on both sides. And some other things that need to be done eventually. Probably won't get done for this trip, but I've got a U-joint blown out right here. I have the new joints, so I might be able to get that done. Seemed like there was one. These got a little bit of play. Grease about take that up though. Yeah, I guess that one ain't very good up in there. We'll see if I get time to get that done or not, but looks like I got some more undercoating I should do on it too. A little bit of wiring to tidy up here so it stays out of the way. I was rolling the wheels. Backs roll pretty. Oh, take that, cell phone. Sorry about that, guys. Well, here we go. The backs roll pretty easy, and the passenger front does, but this one here's locked up, like the brake's dragging. So that could be these hoses are pinching off the fluid. I'm pretty sure I have those hoses, so I might try to do that too. But we'll start with getting the seats mounted after we weld those out. Got some body mount bolts that I could cut off. Just a little bit of everything, so let's get after it. Got the wheels pulled off, welder set up. I'm gonna go ahead and start going down through here and getting this welded out. Passenger side is all welded out. Turned out pretty good. Top had a couple holes go through, but burn open, but no big deal. That will work. I need to drop it down, weld the inside of the driver's side, because that'll help burn off some of the undercoating on the outside here. And then I can keep welding it. Driver's side, welded out. Turned out pretty good. Little trouble right here. There's a seam there, so I kept burning a lot of crap out of there. I've got her welded up solid. looks like I forgot the same weld on this side too. I better do that one quick. I've got all these filled in. I'll hit them with the flapper disc. Let's get that welded out and I'll get back on the underside. Last weld, done. Both sides welded out. Grind it up a little bit on the outside here. I'll put a coat of Flex Seal on this too. Hopefully that'll keep all the rust from moving along through this old body. So I've got my block of wood under my seats. I've got all that ready to paint, but I'm gonna do my seat frame first. I figured out I zeroed my angle finder to this, put it upside down on here, figured out that was a 14-degree angle, and knew it was around 8 inches from measuring it. So then I cut a piece of 1-inch square tubing that I kind of like how that sits underneath there. And I'm kind of thinking I will run a piece of strap along the top all the way over to the other seat. I haven't decided. Maybe I don't want that in between them. Might be nice to be able to put like a center console there, but then my dogs will have to jump over that piece of strap every time they get in and out. So maybe I was planning on cutting 4 of these legs anyways, so maybe I won't do that and just do a strap from side to side, 2 legs, maybe a foot off of each, or another strap on the bottom to bolt it down, and then I'll have to worry about doing the back. So let's get some more pieces cut. I got 4 legs cut, all with that 14-degree angle on there, cleaned up. I cut 2 pieces of strap 18 inches long. And then I held it up here and eyeballed where it needed to go through those holes. Now I'm going to put the bolts in to hold it in place, and then I'm going to go up over there, set the legs on the floor where they're flat, mark them on here, then I'll weld them on, weld some feet on those legs, and then I'll working my way back. These inside rails, I think we'll just tie into this, and they'll slide back, connect to that back hole, and then maybe bend flat, and then I'll just bolt right through there. So that should be fairly easy. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this back hole. Maybe not even mess with it, maybe put another rail that just sits on the floor. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. So, legs are under their place where they need to be. This one's on the outside of the bolt. That one's on the inside. On a different note, I was thinking about center console, and I have this big ammo can, and it fits just right in between there. I know I'm not the first one to come up with this idea, but I like it. It's a good idea, and it'll be watertight on the top side anyways. But see how that hits there? This can's got several holes drilled in it already from being mounted on different things. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to, I'm gonna cut that can so it slides over that, and then it slides it back either with the back of the seats or the front probably the back. I'm not sure. So it'll be kind of an L shape cut out of the bottom of that can. And I can silicone the bottom if I need to or whatever, just to keep anything small in there. But I think I'm gonna plan on doing that. But also, I was thinking about how I'm gonna do these back mounts, and I got it figured out. I'm gonna run strap lengthwise this way, and then it'll sit on top of that shelf back there. And then I will cut some tabs so long with a hole in them, and I'll put them flat up against that back piece, tack them onto that strap there, and then I can bolt right through there. Then there won't be any bolts coming out the back. I won't have to figure out how to get to that one because there'll be one here, one there. It'll work good. But try not to get any more distracted than I already am. Let's get these seats mounted. That's my goal for today. If I can get seats mounted, tires put back on, taillights hooked up, then I think we will take this thing for a rip up by the lake tonight. We don't live too far from one of them here, so it's all gravel up there, and if we have any problems, then we're not on the highway or anything, but that's my goal. So let's see if I can get it. Got some more pieces cut, 14 inches, hole drilled in them. I'll put a tack up here on both of these. I've got some of these guys I'm gonna put on the feet so I can bolt them down. I was gonna cut a bunch more of these 2 inches long to do like this, like I was saying, but I don't know if that's long enough. So I'll put this stuff all on there, and then I'll decide if these will be long enough underneath there. Get this tacked together and I'll bring it back. I'm gonna face both the holes forward, and then this one will actually punch through the cross member right there. So that'll give it a little bit extra strength. That one won't, but that's fine. Just put a nutsert there. And what I was talking about is, see if I can get down here and show you. I'm gonna put a piece of strap from there down to there, put a hole through there. They actually need to be like 4 inches long, so 4.5 inches long. So I'm gonna cut a couple of those, get some holes drilled, get them tacked on, and then this frame can come off the seat and I can weld it out. Okay, there's my piece tacked on. We're gonna go ahead and mark these holes before I pull it out of here. I need to tack that last foot on. It's gotta get raised up just a hair to do that. The floor isn't perfectly level. Probably could have made that leg longer, but it's not gonna hurt anything. If I need to, I can put some washers underneath it. So go ahead and get it tacked on there. Got the mount all welded out. It's been cooling here while I drilled out the holes and put nut zerts in them. These may not be strong enough to mount seats. I'm not sure, but if they're not and the seats come loose, then I can always put bolts in their place. It's a hell of a lot easier putting these in than putting nuts on the backside and washers and everything else. So we'll try them for a while, see how it goes. Feels really good. It's nice and square in here. Kind of tip back, almost recliner style. So I think that's gonna work. Let's move on to the next one. Second one is tacked up in place. Just need to put those straps down below like that one has. I think that's gonna work good. Seems like everything's pretty well square. Got a nice gap in between them. That'll work nice. I'll decide if I want to cut this ammo can up and put it in the middle, or just run without it for a little bit and see how I like that. We'll see. I'm gonna finish tacking them on, weld this one out, and then get ready to mount it. There it is. It's all mounted in there. Turned out pretty good. I can't believe how much that warped my framework when I welded it. None of my bolt holes lined up, so if I was to do it all over again, I would have welded it, put it back on the seats, and then marked my holes, drilled them, but got them put in there. It's nice and solid. It's not going anywhere. So next on the list, I think I am gonna cut this down and try to get it fit in between there. Fits in there pretty nice. It'll make a nice center console. So let's get after that. Got it cut out where I want it to go. I got a little bit of gap up here. Honestly, it's probably not gonna be anything a little silicone couldn't fill, or some foam or something. I'm not gonna worry about silicone in it right now because of it's gonna come back out when I paint the floor, but I will get it mounted down in there, use some of those holes and some nut zerts. Call it macaroni. That thing's gonna be sweet. Get a nice height to kind of set your hand on when you're not shifting. Shifter moves good. Just right. Isn't that freaking sweet? Turned out good. Also nice and solid in between the seats. Gives you somewhere to set your drink. Those are mounted. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna raise it up in the air. I'm gonna mess with some of those rubber brake lines, especially that one behind this front tire that I think is hanging up. And we'll kind of see where that gets us. If it looks like a huge can of worms, I'll leave it alone. If it goes good, maybe I'll do the rest of them while I'm at it. Got the first one replaced. Had to do this short line in between that block and there. Still need to do that rubber line. I'm working on getting the bleeder loose right now. Got this soaked down, busted loose. I think it'll come apart pretty good. Just keep plugging away at the old brakes. Got the new brake lines installed all the way around. Looking good. I think I'm about ready to get Jesse to come down here and help me bleed the brakes. See what they do. I know I'm gonna need some parts, but I got some cobbling going on here. I broke all the bleeders loose, and this one actually stripped its way out. Doesn't look too bad, but it won't tighten up in there. So I've got a 1/4-20 bolt in there instead. Hopefully that'll block it off enough for a test drive. I need to get some wheel cylinders and probably some shoes for these guys. Do them right, but I don't have that stuff today. So, I guess I got taillights I could still hook up while the wheels are off on both sides. I can do some greasing too. Plenty of grease zerts everywhere on this thing that haven't been greased in a long time. Couple there even, whole bunch on the linkages, tie rod ends. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll get her down here to help me bleed the brakes too. As you guys seen, I got it out of the shop for the day. We didn't make it all the way to the lake, but we did drive it up the road quite a ways, and it did really good. It did exactly what it's supposed to. The seats are nice and solid. They're really comfortable. I like the console. Oh, it's been a long road to get it to this point. It's not perfect, but at least I'm getting to use it now. That's pretty nice. And then, you know, when they're a little rough around the edges, you don't worry about tearing them up so bad. Probably get more use out of them than when they're really nice. Things left to do on the list. I I think I'm gonna put a ratchet strap around the hood, and I'm gonna try to bend it back in where it's supposed to be. Someday I'm gonna cut that thing off of there, but not yet. It's just not as important as other things. I might do that tonight, and then I want to tape this off and flex seal the top edge of this. And the reason for that is I would like to set that cab back on there tomorrow. If I had it back on, then that's something else out of my shop. This will be mobile. Should be able to park it where the forklift is and use that garage door to get it in and out when I want to. And then just keep tinkering on it little by little. But it'd be nice to have that done. Like I say, put the cab on tomorrow. So I think that's what we're going to shoot for at this point. I really appreciate you guys watching, hanging with me. Channel's just about to break 500. That'll be pretty sweet. Then the next goal is 1,000, so we can start making money doing some of this. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.